Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 and 8 5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go. I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my can use and 8 5, this is 7 November, Charlie. 8 5 right now. Now 1 Charlie, 7 November, go.
This is 1 Charlie, reference to your last, you're Brandon 158 extra box cross, 1200 between teams, that's local. Also request your unit take inbound Nexus to see if we can try to get Whiskey 9 and 8 for pause with the playground.
And this is 7 November, Roger, stand by.
Got that.
Got it? Alright. And all units, this is 7 November Golf, my unit Alpha, Echo, X-ray Alpha Alpha in there.
One Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Hey, I never took a dip. I forgot to take a dip.
Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 5, and 8 5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go.
All right, unscheduled live stream here. We are going to just roll with it. All right, let's see who we got. Dusty Hunt, like number 1. Thank you. Like the stream, do all that stuff. I definitely appreciate it. Soul Moon, thank you for being a member. Longtime fan as well. Nonstop, thank you for being a member. Renee Shields, hello. Do not forget Kishkin. Thank you very much for being a moderator. And thank you for all your help in the Discord, which I totally need to add a pinned comment to the stream. I'll do that right now. Let's go to Discord. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my mic here. Let me just put the pinned comment. As I'm doing this, put questions in the chat, primarily via disability, but doesn't matter. I'll answer anything. If there's no questions, there's no live stream. And yeah, let me put this pinned message in here and I'll start answering some questions. Boom. See, these are things I should be prepared for, which I'm totally not. Where's the thing at? Everyone join Discord. Boom. Members have access to 24/7 Q&A and tons of resources for everyone, all on the Discord. Join or die. All right, that sounds cool. Cool enough. Pin. Here we go. All right, let's start answering some questions here. All right, Airborne, Hua, something like that. Texas in the house. Thank you for being a member. Appreciate it. Thank you for being a member. Yeah, random live stream on Saturday. We were supposed to record with Jason from Veterans Info Tap on Veterans Daily. Scheduling issues, no big deal. So I figured I'd do a live stream as I can. We have a new member, Jeff Russell. Thank you very much for joining the club. Don't forget to download Discord, join the server, do all that stuff here. John Hughes says, what's up? Good day all from Chris. VA housing education. If you need VA home loan stuff, hit up David Piatek from VA housing education, right? Daniel Bucio. All right. Air Salt. Frago King here lately. Yeah, that's funny. Yes, Kentucky did take not just a loss, that was a hard loss, fighting the entire time. That sucked. Nuclear Chicken, thank you for being a mod. Yep, that's funny. Concise Psych, thank you, Dr. Sharma. Of note, and I'm actually going to go to his channel here as well. He just posted, this wasn't planned. He just posted a video about a free Nexus letter. It's very short. Oh, I didn't put Concise Psych in. Very short video here. Posted it 18 minutes ago. Here it is. Okay.
Do you
I'll play
want
the
a
gist
free
of
Nexus
it,
letter
but
for your VA
I'll
disability
put the
claim?
link down below in the chat as well if you want to get a
How
free
you
Nexus
doing?
What's going
letter.
on here?
It's a free sample.
I saw
Here's
this.
your-
What's the?
I'm here to the channel, and we're going to be doing a giveaway for it. This is a veteran who I worked with who got his results recently, who's
We'll
eligible
watch this
for it.
part.
Of course, you have to be going for a VA disability claim, and it has to be a condition that I can help you with, right? So this has to be a mental health condition like PTSD, depression, anxiety, depression due to chronic pain from service-connected conditions, also conditions related to mental health like migraine headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, obstructive sleep apnea, and so on. If you're on my wait list,
There we go. So you have the link there if you want to apply for the free Nexus letter. Dr. Sharma was awesome. That wasn't planned. Doc, thank you for commenting. I definitely appreciate it. All right. Serious question. How come only people with 100% VA disability start these kinds of channels? I don't know. I can tell you that I started the channel because I wanted to. I'm an instructor. That's what I did in my day job. And I'm also a curriculum developer. So I don't know, just started the channel. It really sucked for a long time. And then I did one video that took off. And I'll show you exactly which video that was. It was the Reddit video. Where's the Reddit video? This one. Look at that. You can tell it's a little older. I don't know, to be honest with you. Knowledge base that has every single piece of information. Doesn't that video suck? Yeah. Anyways. Okay. I don't know, dude. All right, get ready for questions to come up. Yep. Hi. Hope life's going well from you. It's going. My name is different in Discord. Sorry, that's totally okay. We're looking for some questions here. Is there a way to get a stressor event verified without the VA doing it for you? So for PTSD claims, I don't care if you submit a Nexus letter or the world's best DBQ for PTSD, the VA is going to verify it to include everything, to the diagnosis. So that includes the in-service stressor event. The VA is not going to mess around with PTSD claims at all, and they're going to verify all aspects of your PTSD claim. So the answer to that, the short answer is no. All right. Yes, LJZ says smash the like. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you for all you do. Wondering if my intent to file expiring April 30th can be used for a supplemental claim. Sleep apnea, waiting on Nexus from AME and GERD. So 2 questions here. Assuming your supplemental claim, your denial is past 1 year, then yes, your intent to file is going to be used for the supplemental. Assuming if your denial is within that 1 year mark for a supplemental claim, assuming the diagnoses and all that stuff is still there, it's going to go back to that effective date. I hope that sounds like I explained it in the worst way possible, but the answer is depends on when you were denied for your sleep apnea and GERD. I don't know what you're asking. Are veterans benefits getting a raise? So I assume you mean COLA. It's way too early to even talk about COLA, but the answer is going to be yeah, probably. I wouldn't call it a raise. It would just be the adjustment. My claim has been in the decision phase for almost 2 months. Is that normal? Yes, unfortunately. What I would do is I hope you have like a VSO or someone who's accredited that has access, VBMS access. They can go in and see movement on your claims that we necessarily can't see. So, all right. Let's look at my claim has been in step 7 for 2 weeks. Is that normal? Yeah, let's just answer all timeline issues, okay? There's not a single person on this planet who can give you an accurate timeline prediction outside of what the VA tells us. It could be tomorrow, 1 week, or 6 months. No one knows. Doesn't matter who you ask. I'm sorry, that's the answer. All right, BC No Powder says here from Discord notification. Yes, if you want to know anything about what's going on, Discord is the one spot. It's much easier to communicate versus YouTube. Okay, I'm getting medically retired. P&T. I want to stop some medications or treatments. Will this VA? No. So, I assume you're already going through that process, and that's how you know you're 100% P&T. If you want to stop medications or treatments for whatever reason, you can do that. I'm not recommending. You are in charge of your own healthcare, and that's a healthcare thing. I'm going to talk about benefits. Stopping your treatment is not a reason for the VA to reduce your rating, especially a P&T-er. There is I'm thinking, and maybe Kish or someone else can add to this. If you are medically retired or discharged for mental health, there is a reevaluation that comes with that. I want to say within 6 months, maybe a year. It's an M21 TAC 1 reference. But since you're P&T 100%, being medically retired, you probably have a ton of claims going through. So that shouldn't be an issue. But that is something that I would at least look into. Nonstop, thank you for being a member. Says I'm 80% right now. Let me just go to my stream in case anyone says, oh my gosh, dude. You've got to be kidding me. Give me a second. My son downloaded some stuff, and obviously he wasn't supposed to. I'll deal with that after this. Okay. It's been 18 months since I separated. I have claims I wish I made. Is it worth the risk? I mean, there's not really any, I don't know what risk you're talking about, unless you're talking about being reduced from 80%. I wouldn't worry about that at all. If you have disabilities that are from service and you have the evidence, you need to submit that. There's no reason to wait. That would be my straight up answer. Had a CMP exam and my claim has been in decision phase. Answer that one. How hard does it get to get service connected for prostate cancer after 40 years? It all comes to evidence. Okay. Evidence. Is that a part of those presumptives, reproductive, it was a G word. I just talked about this too. I wonder if that is a part of.
Did you pay the Apple Card like I asked?
Oh, no, you forgot. Do it quick, the neighbor's watching. Oh, wow, that was fast.
Yeah,
Oh, did I not?
a while ago.
He did it.
Maybe I need to. VA News. Presumptive. I wonder if prostate cancer falls into that. I don't know. Yeah, it does, according to the Googles. And I just realized you can't see what I'm looking at. I was looking at this. So presumptive, maybe. You said 40 years, though. That might be way before, way after your time. Okay. Just heard my lunch break. Perfect timing. Okay, well, let me see if you are. Yeah, I thought so. Let me see if you have a question since you're on lunch break. Look really quick for Joshua Johnson. Okay, I don't see any. All right, have a good lunch break, dude. Trouble Actual says, so glad you saved me from the other VA benefits outfit that was going to take $15,000. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, obviously. I'm glad that you saved yourself. Michael Jefferson, thank you for the donation and being a member. I appreciate it. Filing for chronic fatigue syndrome presumptive. Gulf War vet have diagnosis from rheumatologist and symptoms. Do you think I should get private DBQ? No, I don't think so. Not for chronic fatigue syndrome. There's a lot of ruling out. I'm going to give you the short story. There's a lot of ruling out. I assume that's already happened. If you fall within that presumptive time location criteria, you've already ruled everything else out. It's going to be under MUCMI. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. It's going to be under VA presumptive list right here. It is, let me get that off. It is right here is what I'm talking about. I'll link this in the chat for anyone who wants to look at it. Boom. Chronic fatigue syndrome is under MUCMI. So if you're already diagnosed, though, I can tell you that generally speaking, you're already ahead of the game. That's a pretty decent claim, having the CFS diagnosis. Okay. 90%, my left non-dominant shoulder is 30%. Pain and arthritis. I was going to file secondary for right dominant shoulder for same thing. I have current diagnosis and prescription. Okay. I assume you're talking about like the bilateral secondary where you're overcompensating. You're using your right shoulder more than you would your left. I can tell you generally that's not, I wouldn't call it the easiest claim. I don't necessarily think it's a hard claim. Degenerative arthritis, I'm pretty sure it's not something that spreads, so that might be an issue there. You're really going to have to go the overcompensating route for that. I would also be curious as to the evidence that led to your left shoulder being service connected. Because I wouldn't be surprised if you also had evidence of your right shoulder in your service records, just because you may have said shoulder pain versus left shoulder pain. Something as easy as that. is something that I would absolutely look at. All right, currently come back from deployment, and I've been told that I'm unfit to serve due to my diagnosis. I have 23 years service. Thank you for your service. I let them medical retirement or just retired. I'm a Navy Reserve. Holy baloney. Okay. All right. I'm not going to tell you which one you should or shouldn't do. You already hit that 20-year mark. You are a reservist. Depends on your good years and what your active deployed time looks like. But I'm not in the position to tell you if you should be medically retired or not. That's a you thing. I'll tell you, generally speaking, reserves naturally will fall into choosing to be medically retired or discharged just because their nature of their service. I can say that. But that's a you decision to make. I don't know the details of you. 100% PNT static. Am I protected? I'm going to give you two answers here, right? Are you protected? Layman terms, I'm going to say yes. You're fine. You have nothing to worry about. The real answer, not the real answer. The technical answer is PNT doesn't come with quote unquote protections. There's a 10-year rule for service connection and the 20-year rule for that rating. Those are protections, but I assume you're really implying, is the VA going to reduce my rating? The answer is no. The VA is not out here looking at PNTers to reduce. It's not happening. Okay, so I hope that puts you at ease there. Are you protected? For the sake of answering your question, the answer is yes. All right, Happy NES says you are amazing. So Happiness, thank you for being a member. Longtime fan of the channel. They have asked me probably 1,000 questions. That's not an exaggeration. And I believe your partner was just connected at 100% PNT. So congrats. Where was I at? I think right here. Willie Styles Family Gaming. Diagnosed with sleep apnea. Get my CPAP in 2 weeks. Should I file for secondary to obesity? That's the intermediate step there. PTSD now before proposed change next month. I'll talk about that here in a second, or wait until I have my hands on my CPAP, currently rated 90%. Okay, so this one does matter because there is a proposed change. It's the final rule is what we're waiting on. It's been updated to August. That doesn't mean it's going to go in effect in August, but I do think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I would use August 1st as a planning factor, not for anything else, for effective date. Should you submit for sleep apnea now? I would, personally. If you have evidence of obesity as an intermediate step, absolutely. I can tell you that if you are obese and your obesity is not accounted for, the VA is going to use that to deny you. And when I say the VA, I mean the CMP examiner. Been on step 3 since September on easy peasy claims. Woo hoo. All right. I hate to see that. If you have a VSO or someone who's accredited, they can at least go in your file and look at movement that we can't see. That might be something that you want to look at. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Caleb, thank you for being a member. Says, what's your opinion on sleep apnea secondary to PTSD? Just filed for it, and it's a mixed review on it getting service connected. That's the opinion. It's a mixed review. It depends on you. So it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. I'll get to that here in a second. Both of you, thank you. It's not a one-size-fits-all. What I mean by that is, ooh, I have PTSD. It's service connected. Ooh, I have sleep apnea. I am going to file the secondary and be connected no matter what. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It matters on you. So the question isn't, did this veteran get sleep apnea secondary to PTSD? The question is, what is your evidence for your sleep apnea stemming from your PTSD. There's a few things I would look at, right? You have PTSD, which is a pretty solid correlating factor. I would look at breathing in heavy particulate matter or fine particulate matters like burn pits and being in areas like Afghan, Iraq, Somalia. That's a correlating factor. I would look at medications like gabapentin, maybe medications where you've gained weight and those medications are due to conditions that are service connected. Maybe you've had 2 knee surgeries and you have IBDS in your back. That's going to prevent you from working out, okay, and having some sort of healthy regimen. Those correlating factors, depending on how many you have, the better your claim is. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's look at these real quick. Mortal Savage, thank you very much for donating. I appreciate that. It says, registered with the VA as a Gulf War veteran. When I had my exam, the doctor stated I had chronic fatigue. Is that a diagnosis for chronic fatigue syndrome? I assume you mean the burn pit registry, which comes with an appointment, probably via phone, and then they share, or you can share that with your primary care. I think that's what you're asking about. Maybe they said that you might have chronic fatigue. It's definitely something to look in at or into. I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't assume that's a diagnosis because that's burn pit registry stuff. I would still go talk to your primary care and go that route. But it's a step in the right direction. I can tell you that. Right? It's a lot better than not having anything. But I would still share that with your primary care, whether VA or private. That's a you thing. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what Kish had said about that because it really sums it up. He says, seems premature on the chronic fatigue unless all diagnostic tests have ruled out everything else. So again, it's a step in the right direction, but I wouldn't assume it's a diagnosis, right? I would still share that with your VA primary care and go that route. I hope that makes sense. Patrick R., thank you very much. I appreciate that. It says, if I submit a EBC, I assume you mean evidence-based claim. I just want everyone to know that is something that I talk about on YouTube. That's not a real term, okay? But evidence for the purposes of that, it means your evidence from service and your current diagnosis. Since there's no DBQ for tinnitus, I wouldn't worry about that. Will my claim get switched to standard claim? Yeah, okay. So, EBC is something that we made up here on YouTube. So just completely don't equate that to the VA. Looking at tinnitus, are you going to have a CMP exam? Probably. They're probably going to look at hearing loss as well. I wouldn't sweat it. Tinnitus is not a claim that I would sweat, to be honest with you. And there's some other factors involved here too. Did you get out in the 80s or did you get out last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What were your duties and responsibilities? There are tons of questions I have, but tinnitus is generally not a claim that I would sweat. If you're asking if you're going to have a CMP exam, which is what I think you're asking here, the answer is 99% yes. Submitted 2 questions. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience. Tim in DC, thank you very much. I also want you to know that it is so hard for me to search your name in the chat. I'm going to try, okay? But it is really hard for me to do this. I'm going to do it though. Tim in DC. Timmy. Or you know what you could do, Tim, is just retype your questions. I have the live bottom chat over here on my monitor. Retype the questions so I can get them. Here's one of them. That's the second one, obviously. Let me look for the first one. Or maybe this was the first one. Just go ahead and retype them, dude. I'm going to answer this one, but I still want you to retype it. Here it is. Okay. Just submitted a claim for many conditions. I just noticed that the VA hasn't been giving me the SMCK allowance, even though I've been 0% ED since 2012. Submit now to correct them. I would just call the VA. That would be my very first thing I would do is call the VA. Okay. Really look at your payments just to make sure. Now, there was an OIG report last year that talked about SMCs not getting the COLA increase, which is a little different than this. I get that. But that's at least something to look into. Okay. So I would really make sure that what you're saying is correct. Let me look at your other one. Because I just filed for many conditions and it's pending. I have some conditions just diagnosed but not included. File a new claim now or wait because it will mess up my current claim. If you're asking, I think you're asking about filing for SMCK again. That's not what I would do. I think that's what you're asking. I would just call the VA, double check on that, and then let me go back to your original question. So why having them back to back is good. Calling the VA would still be my first stop. Having an accredited VSO that doesn't suck would also not be a bad idea in this situation either. You filed for conditions that are pending. I have some conditions just diagnosed but not included. Okay, for your new conditions, what I would do, okay, is just do an intent to file, gather all the evidence. I would prefer you've done this the first time. That's fine. Gather all the evidence for whatever it is you want to submit. Have the intent to file. You have a year. Let those claims run out. Then once you get those decisions, go ahead and submit. That would be the best thing to do. You had two things going on there, the SMCK issue and then the new claims on new claims issue. Okay. I hope that answers everything. All right. Happiness says hubby got PNT and SMCs. Awesome. Congrats. Still has a bunch of ratings to go. Sleep apnea, radiculopathy. That is A. O. All right, let's get back on track here. I was looking at records and see that I have records of bad right shoulder in service. Should I go secondary? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I'm glad I guessed it. Yeah. Here's the question for everyone. If you have evidence in service, direct is always the easier route. Okay. You don't really have a choice on that, by the way. You have evidence from service, submit the direct claim. Easy peasy, let that roll. PK, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Says claim was denied. If I do the informal conference and they say my nexus is weak or there is no nexus, can I then go to a strong nexus, file submittal claim? So I'm just going to assume you submitted a nexus letter with your claim and that's what you're talking about. Generally speaking, HLR informal conference, when you submitted a solid nexus, it's not a bad idea. I wouldn't say it's the best idea either. Depends on the nature of your claim. But HLR informal conference, based on this comment and this comment alone, is not a bad idea at all. I wouldn't recommend submitting a second nexus letter especially if you're paying for it. If it's from your treating physician, sure, go for it. Then that's the answer. But I wouldn't recommend going straight to that. Now, the issue with that is it's going to take a long time, and I know that sucks. But I hope that answered your question there. Okay. So my answer is HLR, informal conference, not a bad idea, not the greatest either. I wouldn't recommend another Nexus and a supplemental claim unless, of course, that Nexus is free and it's from your treating physician. Patrick R. I meant FDC. Yeah, okay. Fully developed. So you didn't have a Nexus letter or a DBQ. So there's two things here. Fully developed claim just means that you, as a veteran, submitted everything you could with your claim. That's all it means from VA definition. I'll say something like truly fully developed, which is completely different. That is the big three: the in-service event, the current diagnosis, Nexus, DBQ. Okay, two totally separate things. But yeah, you're gonna have a CMP on that one. Does obesity intermediate step for OSA need to be documented in the Nexus letter or DBQ? Preferably both. I mean, your evidence would tell the story, and all a DBQ is an analysis of your evidence, right? Hey, here's who I am. Here's where the exam was conducted. Here's how it was conducted. Here's the diagnoses. Here's the records I reviewed. Blah 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 blah. Okay. I always say the DBQ is the foundation for the Nexus. That would be a good way to look at it. Scott Brown, new member, thank you very much for joining the team here. Make sure you download Discord. We have fun on there. We have fun over there. Okay. Oh, sorry. That was a reply here. Kevin says, January 2025, I got 100% PNT. Congrats. Denied skin condition for head and back for toxic exposure. Not in a location predetermined. Should I try supplemental secondary to PTSD? I would. 99.9% of the time, the answer is just going to be it's irrelevant. Especially looking at skin secondary. That's not what I would do personally. Skin is largely rated at 0% or very low just because there's creams, there's Accutane, like medications that quote unquote cures it. And by that, I mean makes it go away. That's why you see low ratings. You're 100% PNT. Skin's not something I would rock the boat with. All right. Simp, I saw that, dude. It's insane. I'll look at that here in a second. Wild. Sent my intent to file last June. 5 claims total. I was diagnosed with mild constructive sleep apnea. My question is, will I be graded under the current system or new? So there is no new. I want to make this very clear. There's no new rating system or VASRD for sleep apnea. There's none. There's a final proposed rule changed. And until we have an effective date, that means nothing. Now, the reason we talk about it is because I would still use August 1st of this year as a planning factor. But for you have the diagnosis, you've submitted your claim, you're fine. You're going to be rated on both, assuming it goes into effect. If it doesn't, you're going to be rated on the current. All right. Charles May says, no question, just a thanks. I appreciate that. This always makes me feel weird. And I'll tell you this. Here's some truth right here. I do one-on-ones, not a lot, just for time reasons. If you're on the Discord, then you have that information. But I'll meet with veterans and help them with their claims and just kind of, it's a private Q&A really. You would be surprised at how many people purchase the private Q&A just to tell me, hey, I got 100% PNT. I just wanted to meet you and say hi and go and just say what's up. And it's a lot more than you think, which is insane. Also, a lot of people will message me saying, hey, I'd like to donate. How can I do that? I always recommend through YouTube because they got their ratings or PNT. So Charles May, I assume you fall into those categories. Thank you very much, dude. It always makes me feel super awkward. And I definitely appreciate it. Seriously. It does make me feel weird, though. Okay. Greg, brother, I'm going to speak in some cryptic ways to Kish. Okay. Kish, what we talked about in Squad Leader Chat the other day. Right here. Okay. Anyways, Dr. Sharma watching Clay react to Dr. Sharma is breaking all the walls. I didn't realize that. Weird inception, right? He says, yeah, that's so true. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Dr. Sharma, Concise Psych, is doing a Nexus letter giveaway, okay, from a veteran who wants to give back to the community. I've done those with Dr. Sharma twice, I think, maybe 3 times. It's a lot of work going through emails. Dr. Sharma and I have talked about this specifically. I gave him some pointers, and so now he's going through with his free Nexus letter. I'm going to link that in the chat again because it's just a super amazing opportunity. So here's a video on that free. It's a legit free Nexus legit free Nexus letter. 3-minute video on how to enter. You can go ahead and support Dr. Sharma, also an Air Force veteran there. Okay. Let's circle back here. We skipped one. Michael Kelly, thank you for joining as a member. I appreciate that. Make sure members 100% need to download Discord and link your account. That's the whole membership thing is Discord. But anyone can join Discord. Okay, we have a non-member chat for the peasants. That's a stupid joke there. But there's a bunch of resources and stuff like that too. Hawk has 2 donations. You didn't have to do that. Okay, I definitely appreciate it. You have my full attention right now. Class 2 Alpha dental update after 18 months. In January, I got past a dental clinic lobby and in a chair, doc saw a spot on my tongue. It was cancer, was removed last week. That's good. I'm glad it was removed. I'm glad you got seen. Okay. Bottom line, Phoenix eligibility in dental saved my life. Tucson eligibility in dental denied me over and over and would have let me rot. Okay. There's some backstory that I need to let everyone know on this one because they're probably super confused. DAV Dental Phoenix article. The DAV did an article. I think this is it. This is it. I'm going to share this article because it explains the backstory. Pretty much this veteran kept getting shafted. Thank you for the update. I'm glad you got that resolved, especially with how bad it was. Dental fiasco. I don't even know if you spell that, but there it is if you want to look at the article. Okay. Let's get back to answering some questions here. Hawk, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Greg, thank you for being a member. Don't forget to join Discord. It's where all the magic happens. Patrick, thank you. This is your second one, I think. No reason to do that, okay? No reason at all. I appreciate it. Did the VA not use not used to approve injuries during IADT. I don't even know what that is. IADT military. Initial active duty for training. It's a reserve thing. Okay. If you are on orders, the answer is yes. Okay. Now, it is important to know. And it's not going to be written down in a book. This is my opinion. Reserve and Guard get shafted more than anyone else. Okay, so that's where you're starting from. CMP doc opine at least likely than not. I'm gonna assume it's less likely as not, or at least as likely. I'm just gonna assume they said no, which is less likely. Drill date and private doctor dates line up, but rater denied service connection. Would this be worth looking into a queue? So first off, queues are rare. People talk about them as if they're not. They are. They're hard to prove. Highly recommend going a lawyer route. I would not go at a queue by myself. Okay. Personally, that's my opinion. Sure, you can. This is not what I'm going to recommend. I want to know if you had an LOD, line of duty. Did you go to medical during your active time, your annual time? What did that look like? What was the injury? Right? Is it directly related to your reserve time? What is the gap between your private doctor dates and that drill date? There's many, many factors involved. What's your competing evidence? But to answer your question about a queue, I wouldn't go at it alone. And that's just me. And you're going to get many different answers on that. But this is my live stream, so I give my opinion. Okay. Let me deal with this because my son messed something up and it's really making me mad, for real. That's going to be a pain in my butt. Okay. Here we go. I did intent to file 5 months after my deployment. Then I submitted the disability claim 3 months after. What should the effective date be if I got approved? Thanks. Yeah, so this sounds like reserve talk. And it should be on your intent to file. Yeah, so it should be 5 months after your deployment. Based on this comment. Okay. John Hughes says PTech got me pre-approved. That's great. David, if you're looking at VA home loan stuff, he is a good dude. Okay. He's helped my family members. And although my family members chose not to go with that lending option, went with another, David still met with them and said, hey, this is the best option. So he's just a good dude. Are CMP contractors getting fired? So they don't work for the VA. Those contracts, as far as I know, haven't even been touched at all. They work for complete private company, private entity. So whatever that company does is whatever that company does. But how you ask the question, the answer is no. All right, 38. CFR 38 is pretty easy to understand. When I was helping with claims, lots of vets had no clue to do this research. Why isn't this pushed to vets to assist in the process? Well, you have to look at who is responsible for pushing information to service members leaving, and that would be Transition Assistance Program and VSOs if they're available for that TAP program. Then you look at veterans, and information comes from the VA. Then you have YouTubers. As dumb as that sounds, okay? YouTube plays a big role in informing the community. Same with Reddit, Facebook groups, all your social media stuff. Now, there's a particular Facebook group that really sucks. And if you know the history of the channel, you should probably know which one I'm talking about. They don't like me that much. Anyways, but I do want to, because you brought it up, I want to show people what you're talking about, how easy it is to use. So let's just go to the Googles here. And this is not the right time. This is the right time. Let's say you want to look up flat feet 3.8 CFR ECFR. You would click the ECFR thing. Now there's other links like the LLI here. That's fine. Sometimes like CCK will have a link. All those are fine. I prefer ECFR. Okay, you would click on this. You can't see it. I'm just hitting Control F, flat feet. I'm just gonna say flat. I think it's flat foot. Yeah, and then boom, it takes you right to it. You can see exactly the rating criteria and what that is. So 30, 50, bilateral, or 1. And you see pronounced, marked pronation, yada, 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 yada. And then you see that for everything. Plantar fasciitis is right above that. You can see that. So that's what he's talking about there. Okay. A bunch of people at the VA I go to took the buyout, and now they are undermined. Is the VA going to fix this? I can't speak to that. I can tell you, I think 70, I'll get to the donations here in a second. Sorry. I think 78,000, give or take a few, took the buyout. The DRP is what he's referring to. I did. I don't work for the VA though. They meaning the administration, was hoping for 200,000. So it still wasn't as bad as it could have been. But as far as a VA facility being undermanned, I have zero. If I said something, it would be totally out of pocket and based on nothing. Okay. Fragrance Man, thank you very much. It says CMP examiner measured my forward flexion of the back spine from the rear. I thought it was from the hip. Am I right? Are you saying like they took the goniometer and put it on your butt crack? I think that's what you're saying. That is weird. It should relatively be pretty close though. And looking at the back ratings, it's not like a 1 degree is not going to throw that off, because it's very clear how far you can or can't bend forward. And you don't need a ruler to tell you that. Now, if it is close, then sure. I think you're talking about the ruler being on your butt crack, which is kind of funny. But I wouldn't sweat that too hard just because of how the degree of forward flexion of the back is. Like, it's very apparent. Everyone knows what a 90-degree angle looks like. Everyone knows what 45 looks like. Don Snow, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. I can't see on StreamYard what you sent, but thank you very much. W.E. Wilson. I got like 5 minutes left on this stream, by the way. So 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to stream live for an hour here. 6 minutes, really. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Says, currently getting seen for IBS, 2 cruises in the Gulf. I'm going to assume you mean like Gulf of Aden, Red Sea area, not like Gulf of America. Besides a diagnosis, what other evidence should I submit, given that I was in the Navy on a ship? So that's pretty solid, okay? There's 2 things you need to understand here, because it's not a presumptive in the same sense as like rhinitis would be. It's different. It's the same thing we talked about for chronic fatigue. It's under medically unexplained chronic multi-symptom illness, or MUCMIs, and here you see IBS. Now, presumptive conditions, blah, 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 if you served in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations. For you, personally, you scroll all the way down, and I assume you mean 5th Fleet AOR, okay? But just in case, there's all your land stuff, and then the Gulf of Aden, Oman, Persian, Arabian Sea, Red Sea, in the airspace. So you hit those criteria. Now you're looking at medically unexplained. All right. But I can tell you just based off of this comment, it's a decent claim for sure. It's definitely worth pursuing. And I totally got off. My kids are screaming for me because it's time to go outside. But let's just give it till 1 hour. We'll stream for an hour. Yes, another. Thank you, Kish. I appreciate that. Another thing to be aware of. Requires 6 months of symptoms and other criteria under 38 CFR 3.317. I'll link that for you. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. There is that for you, Wilson. Patrick R. Again, dude. Thank you very much. It was for back injury during hump. Noted in health assessment. I am refiling, but with multiple buddy statements this go around. Thank you for what you do. Okay, hold on. That changes the game a little bit. Oh, okay. Reserve stuff. Yes. So same thing applies. You're still, I know this sucks, but reserve and guard get shafted. That's just the truth. You're still coming from that place. You have the right mind here, the right mindset. Buddy letters are fine. It would be really awesome to get a LOD. That would be sick. You ready to go outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 2.5 minutes. You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? Come say hi, dude. But yeah, you have the right frame of mind. Here, I'll monetize my kids for a second. Okay. There's nothing immoral about that one. All right, Mr. Chambers. I have flat feet and plantar fasciitis and gout in my feet. My question is gout rated separate from other conditions? I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I can tell you flat feet and plantar fasciitis are rated the same. The VA will take the highest of the rating. Gout is not something I'm familiar with at all. I'm hoping Kish can give you an answer because I can't. I can make a post about it later when I do have the answer. But Kish said it can be. My question is gout rated separately? It can be. Is there an instance where it can't be, where it will just be roped within the same rating for feet, flat feet and plantar fasciitis to be specific? Under 5,002. Okay. You're awesome, dude. This guy is so awesome. Okay, let me show you what 5,002 is. Diagnostic code 5,002. 5,002. Boom. Oh, you can't see that. Multi-joint arthritis, except PT and gout, 2 or more joints as an active process. There you go. I'm just going to put this in the chat because I'm trying to go outside with the kiddos. All right. That is everything. Thank you very much for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. All right. Second time you didn't answer my question. Well, dude, I answered a lot. Okay. I will answer your question right now just because you said something. What's your name? Gunny Camacho? Gunny Camacho. post your question in the chat right now so I can see it and I don't have to search for it.
Done.
It's okay. I got it. Billy Hartman, no reason to do that at all, especially you as a moderator on Discord and now on the YouTubes here. Appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Wow. Way to end the stream. All right. Gunny Camacho. Waiting on Gunny Camacho here. Gunny Camacho, where are you at? I wonder if I can search it on YouTube Live. All right, Gunny. I don't see your question. So I'm going to leave. I got to go outside with the kids. Okay, bye. Thank you very much, everyone. Seriously.
Dad.
Thank you. This is not possible. If there's no questions, there's no live stream. What's up?
Pop.